here's Brody Brazil.
You know, the voicemail line is always open to you anytime you've got a question, a comment, a compliment, or in this case, as you're about to hear, a concern. 833-4Brody. That's the number. I literally listen to every single message you leave, and then I get to play back and respond to the very best ones.
Steve Barron from Boerne, Texas, originally from New York City. I'm 74 years old, and I'm a Yankee fan, and my first game was Old Timers Day in 1961. Whitey Ford was the winner. Yogi Berra hit a homer.
All right.
All over the stadium, there were signs, no betting allowed. In other words, players, of course, but stadium officials, team officials, and most importantly, we were told with all these signs, no betting, betting prohibited. We should not bet, and betting would get us kicked out of the stadium. My concern is that a certain percentage of people are addictive in their personalities. There are going to be people growing up addicted to gambling more than ever because of all the pro-gambling advertising. And addiction is not going to end because the guy is a good college baseball player or an MLB prospect, or because he's putting in a job application to be an office worker in the front office of a team. I think this is a disaster waiting to happen that might be the worst thing that ever happens to baseball in the future. Where is Kennesaw Mountain Landers? Anyway, Steve Barron, Boerne, Texas, originally New York, Yankee fan. Take it easy.
Hey, Steve, I really appreciate your call, and I also appreciate you prefacing everything you said with your background, your experience, and your age, and the things you've been around in life and in sports. And again, that perspective really helps me set the tone for what I want to say in response to your voicemail, because I think it's so critical that somebody with all that background, with all that life experience, is now weighing in on where things stand with the state of betting and sports betting and the future and where we're going and the ramifications and the impact, because sometimes I think we're making decisions right here, right now, like they did back in May 2018. The United States Supreme Court, they struck down the ban on sports betting, and they decided to let states have the ability to open this up legally. And since then, we've seen the evolution of some states and then more states, and a majority of the states across the United States now have legal sports betting. But we really don't know exactly like where this is going. And I think that was my point here of saying that we are right now very much in the infancy of this. And I think you obviously agree this could be something that pivots really bad for professional sports, for sports in general, for the health of individuals who are addicted to wagering and betting. And now sports was supposed to be just an avenue for, exercise and fandom and whatever people got out of sports, whatever that used to be. Well, now it's fueling people's betting and gambling addictions, and it's kind of acting as a vice for them, which is not a great thing considering the widespread prevalence of sports and now how easy it is to be involved with sports betting and gaming and gambling. I do think if we're looking at all the leagues, it feels like baseball and basketball have been the most impacted by legal sports betting. Now, I should also preface and say that these wagers, these bets have gone on for years. It's not like legalizing this has made a lot more people do it, but I think it's opened the doors to having more types of bets, more accessibility. It's in your face a lot more. It's on your phone a lot more. All of this has just opened up opportunity. It's not to say it wasn't happening before this. It was illegally. Now it's legal, but there just do not seem to be enough guardrails on all of this, to the point where we've had 2 players in this baseball season alone almost permanently suspended for the rest of the year. We had an umpire at the beginning of the year who was dismissed because he was sharing an online betting account. We've had other players in baseball be suspended for life in recent years. Obviously, the NBA has had its scandals with referees, and now with more players and a head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. So betting and gaming and sports betting has really seemed to infiltrate baseball and basketball the most that we're aware of. I don't know that we've even really scratch the surface on how much is happening. And I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also looking at this and saying, well, if I didn't know about the whole basketball operation, what more is out there? And am I naive to think, well, that's it. That's everything. We're all done with it. I don't know. How could anybody possibly know? That's the real takeaway. So we're only aware of what we're aware of, and you'd have to think there might be more deeper than that. Sports leagues, like, they're in control of this to a certain degree. Like, the Supreme Court opened up legal sports betting in different states. But since then, sports leagues have aligned, sports networks have aligned, a lot of sports entities have aligned themselves with sports books. So these are brand new revenue streams. These are areas where teams and ownership can make even additional money beyond ticket sales, beyond merchandising, beyond television revenue. Now they've got this additional revenue stream. And I think we're at the point where, how could they even turn back? How could we change this? Now, I said before, we're very much at the infancy, and just like an infant, they don't really always know. Well, a toddler doesn't know how to walk, right? Or an infant doesn't really know how to do a lot of things for themselves. So maybe we're still at that point where we're figuring things out. But we don't know. Maybe we're also at that point where we are realizing, this is really bad. What have we done? And how permanent is this? I think that's part of the problem. We're at a permanent point of betting and sports together. Leagues wanted these revenue streams. I don't see how there's any turning back. Unless the United States government came out and said, we're actually rescinding this. We're changing our position on legal sports betting. We're shutting it down again. But we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, easy, year to year in the United States alone. I mean, it could be in the tens of billions. I don't even know, because the numbers keep skyrocketing. I'll probably do a year-end video of 2025 to recap what sports betting did numbers-wise this year. It is incredible. If you look at the graph and the growth, it is exponential year after year. So I agree with everything that was said on the voicemail. I understand the perspective of somebody who saw the days and remembered the days of when betting was an absolute no-no. And you had to be reminded with signs on the field, like signs in the dugout, signs at the stadium. No betting, no betting. It's interesting how fast we went from no betting to May of 2018. Total 180. Do whatever you want, states, and leagues are free to align with these betting entities. Now, leagues have also put up rules for their players, their personnel, but that's just for their league employees. What about all the viewers who can't stop seeing ads and opportunities for prop bets? And again, if gambling is addictive in their nature, we're talking about kind of two different things here. I do want to end on this. When we talk about sports betting in the future, the integrity of the games is one thing, and the integrity of the league is one thing. But the other thing that I don't know that we're getting much consideration for is, how about the health, the actual financial health, mental health, physical health of people who consume sports and cannot stop themselves from sports betting. Those are the two different things going on. We're very much concerned about investigations and suspensions and all that stuff from the league side. How about from the consumer side? Has anybody really stopped to think about that and how people maybe aren't protected enough? But we just don't know. I hate to say that it's still too new, but we haven't figured this out clearly, and we also don't know where it's going. So let me know what you think, where this is going, where we're at. Was this a mistake? Will it be fine? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there. Helps me, the video, the channel. And don't forget, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because I would definitely love to see you back here next time.